Chapter 26 Exploited Sociable Affinity. Morning came, with Stephen and Craig having breakfast. Not long afterwards, Nicole asked Bernard to take him out. She told her son to keep his mind off of Stephen until sunset. She's willing to have him bring Jessica along to keep him more occupied, while keeping a promise from last night for him to hang out with Stephen again after tomorrow. Instead of taking his vehicle, Bernard texted his girlfriend to wait by the stop sign close to his house so he and Stephen could meet her. Bernard didn't make any eye contact towards Stephen, not judgmentally, but his new viewpoint won't change anytime soon, even with how long Stephen had been at his place. This isn't the best time, but were you planning on doing your job today? Stephen wondered. Yes, but my mom called my boss about... Bernard blushed embarrassedly. Me having a panic attack. Did she tell them about me? No, even without me telling them. Stephen took a deep breath, relieved his incident with Bernard wasn't exposed. I'm just happy your parents are respectful of my private life. I would do the same if the roles were reversed. Don't make it obvious, Stephen, especially when it's not obvious what your whole life is. Unlike your brother, I'm not interested in your life or powers. Stephen wished he would attempt to make amends with Craig's brother, but if he told him a bit about what's coming after him and Craig, he'll never succeed in doing it. They then witnessed Alexis standing by the stop sign after she received her boyfriend's text. Hi Bernard. And Stephen, she bit her lip after witnessing Stephen. Hi, Stephen waved as he and Bernard walked up to her. Was the portal from last night enough to make you think I'm not who I thought I was? I can't answer that. Alexis looked down. Would it be best if we forget about everything and start over? Including the explosion? Bernard guessed. What do you want me to say? Nothing to hurt his feelings to start with, but the truth needs to be told. If he hurt you intentionally, then the truth makes sense. Stephen didn't say another word, remembering he did hurt people physically when it came to his outbursts, leading to violence on some occasions. Do you know what type of friends you'll find for me? Stephen, the day has just started. I wasn't even planning on finding a friend for you, Bernard replied. Especially me, but I'm not against it, Alexis added. With a car driving past on the road, it gave them a chance to walk over the road. With Bernard walking in the middle, he nor his girlfriend told their other friends about Stephen since they didn't see what happened at his old apartment. You know, Stephen, Bernard spoke, if you told me the truth when you met me 4 days ago, I would think you're crazy, but even with everything that still happens afterwards, I would consider being your friend no matter how deranged I'll be. Despite making Stephen smile, the gem himself still wouldn't believe it completely. Would you think I would be deranged? No. In fact, I would believe you're a hero without knowing your enemies who will be worse than criminals. You're right, but in case you haven't noticed, I'm not a celebrity from where I live. In fact, the Crystal Gems did more than me to be well-known celebrities. Does being a Crystal Gem qualify as a private life for justice? Alexis wondered. Your girlfriend did say you fight, right? Yes, but the justice and private life part? Some of my friends didn't mind me having powers, nor everything going on around them. Both Bernard and Alexis looked at each other, as if the citizens who live close to Stephen are more different than the people in Herkleton. Craig and his friends would feel the same way if I was their age. With 3 mothers, Crystal Gems in fact, who will be vitals to protect us, Bernard guessed. You know the creek they go to won't be safe if everything took place there. I go to different locations outside of Beach City, not to mention the forest close by kind of looks like the creek. But there was danger at Beach City, right? Yes. Do you think this is a good time to talk about this? Alexis chimed in. Wouldn't this be more appropriate if we had this conversation in my apartment? Finding a friend is what Nicole wants me to do today, Steven turned his attention to Alexis. I'm sure she wouldn't like it if I didn't make one before I got home. But Steven, this isn't what we want from you. I don't even think we want to come to where you used to live. Craig might come if that pink lion ever comes back, but we wouldn't miss anything if we pass, Bernard added. I'm not taking Craig even if I had permission. I told him last night we might talk to my friends through my phone. It's the least I can do for him to meet poor Amethyst and Garnet. Bernard didn't think Steven would do FaceTime as an option, but even without going, he still doesn't want to meet any Crystal Gem. You might as well take him instead of FaceTiming. He probably wouldn't feel too satisfied. He's not that demanding though. Yeah, try taking him to places after you accidentally scratched your car while he blackmails you, and ruin the whole insight from all the restaurant food you took him. After confessing the past incident, this caused Steven to raise an eyebrow. It's worth experiencing it, although I did enjoy myself before it happened, Alexis commented. He did want a lot of takeout food. I would know how selfish he was if I actually had a brother who acted like that, Steven catching on. But still, I still know he's not that demanding. I just hope the friend I make won't be any of that. Nor the friend here would do that, I'm sure of it, Alexis smiled. Maybe you can take him to Pasta La Vista for lunch. We're doing that. We're doing what we can to help out, Bernard added. And I have to do what I can to convince them I'm in a state of peace and safety. You've been more peaceful ever since I hung out with you, Steven smiled. Pizza there would also take the stress off your mind. As they continued to walk on the sidewalk, they went past one of the expensive houses in the neighborhood. Unlike days ago when Bernard gave him a tour, Steven didn't bother no matter how great the house is. However, upon walking past, Xavier looked through the window. After coming up with a strategy with Ruby and Aquamarine behind closed doors, Steven is in range while his older brother made a head start after telling him Steven's a light sleeper. Steven, Bernard, and Alexis made their way to another stop sign, only this time a park bench displayed with a person sitting on it. It took Steven's attention along with Bernard and Alexis. Why don't you try that guy? Bernard replied. He looks like a college student, Alexis said, but he still looks really nice. Steven didn't hesitate. He may not see his face, but if it's worth giving it a shot, he'll succeed his goal right away. I'll go for it. He made his way to the park bench, sitting down next to him while Bernard and Alexis watched. Even a couple of years older than him, Steven isn't afraid to make a proper impression. Hello, he spoke. This may be sudden, but I'm a visitor here. I'm going to be in Herkleton for a while and I haven't made a friend during my travels. You're a traveler? He asked, whilst looking away from Steven. Yes, I've been traveling over the past 3 months. It would be nice to get to know you. When he turned to Steven, his eyes blinked after taking his younger brother's words today. Hey, you're him, he smiled. I'm him? Steven blinked. You're the person my brother showed me yesterday, and he even told me you were gonna be in the neighborhood today. Steven turned back to Bernard and Alexis, who Bernard couldn't believe it while his girlfriend became surprised. She rooted for him to make the next move as Steven turned back to the person. Was your brother in the creek? Used to, but it's a different story. He raised his hand up for a handshake. I'm Kenneth. Your name? Steven. Steven Universe. He shook his hand. Steven Universe? That's an amiable name. Seems your brother didn't catch my name, but then again, I haven't met him in person. I'll text him right now if he wants to meet you tonight. Kenneth took out his phone as he texted his brother. I have to admit, that's actually impressive, Bernard commented. We should have Steven take his friend with his car. He'll be friends with him in no time, Alexis smiled. Agreed. We are making sure he doesn't see his gem, right? It's the least we can do. After sending his text to his brother responded. Oh, sorry, but he doesn't want to meet you tonight. He put his phone away. Oh, that's odd, since he told you about me, Steven said. It is odd. He told me he doesn't want me to tell you his name. Kenneth took a deep breath. But he did know I would make another friend after he showed a photo of you. This caused Steven to reflect just when his impression was going good. What photo did he show you? You hugged that kid while you were crying. It felt like you saved his life. Steven remembered he didn't do anything to save a kid's life from danger, including Craig, especially the fight he had with Bluebird when it was personal. It must have been a misunderstanding. Do you have the photo? Yes, but it's in my car after the music concert me and my sister had last night. Should I go get it to show you? Steven looked at the floor. He knew something was odd, but at the same time, Kenneth isn't pulling a trick, just his brother. Maybe later. Not that I don't want to see it, I just felt a little bamboozled. I don't feel bamboozled. If there's one thing my brother doesn't do is make me look like a fool. You could be right. He got up from the park bench and so did Kenneth. So maybe during lunchtime, do you want to get some pizza from Pasta La Vista? Sure. Is it okay if we go to the college I attend? We can spend time there. Okay, I've also visited multiple colleges during my travels. This should be a good college to see. You won't be disappointed. Kenneth patted on Steven's back. The two left the park bench as Bernard and Alexis followed them. By the way, Kenneth spoke as he and the others walked past his house. That's my house, he pointed. Oh, I didn't notice that. That's a great house, Alexis commented. I could never afford a house like that. Your family must have made a fortune to afford it, Bernard added. Trust me, my parents know how to be in control when it comes to wealth, Kenneth smiled. I've seen better looking houses, but this still looks stylized, Steven added. Your brother must be inside. Yeah, again, sorry you won't be able to meet him after he texted me. If he really didn't bamboozle you, then I guess I wasn't bamboozled. Should we take your car? Yes. As the group made their way back to Bernard's house, Xavier went back to the window after hiding, preventing attention from Steven himself. Perfect. He grinned. He went back to his bedroom to continue with his plan in action, but this time it's his friends who would take action. He turned on his computer while activating the spell phone from the outside to get his alliance's attention. Ruby and Aquamarine have been waiting by the sides of Xavier's house while the spell phone vibrates, taking Ruby by notice. Make your way to the creek, Ruby and Aquamarine. It's time to kidnap Craig. And to point out, "We're not taking him back here, right?" Aquamarine asked. "No. Take him to a cave where no one can find him. Keep him occupied and make sure he doesn't escape." "I love the way you strategize," Ruby grinned as Aquamarine lifted her up. They made their way to the creek as they stopped in the air to see Steven walking with Kenneth. "This is gonna be better than beating Steven." "I've always wanted to get back at Craig after he stopped us," Aquamarine replied. "He'll learn to never mess with us again."
You